Video Game Review.
Gotta catch 'em all. So, this year is Pokemon's 20th anniversary. 20 long, pretty awesome years. Now, I have been a fan of Pokemon since it first came out. I was part of that big Pokemon craze in the 90s, and I spent countless of hours playing my copy of Blue version and then Silver version after that. And I absolutely loved the anime, and I also enjoyed the card game, but I hated that damn Charizard card. I'm looking at you, FJ. Now, I could talk about Pokemon and my relationship with it for a good while, but to keep this video short, I'll save that stuff for another video or day. So, the main Pokemon games pretty much all play the same. You travel around capturing Pokemon and using these Pokemon to battle other trainers. There's a little bit more to it, but that's the gist of it. Now, if you know anything about Pokemon, you already know that. So, there have been several Pokemon games, 7 main titles, and that's including Sun and Moon, which I'm including them, and several spin-offs, but there really haven't been any Pokemon games where you can actually control the Pokemon and fight. The closest thing we've had to that were the Pokemon you can choose in the Smash Bros series, but that doesn't really count. So, I'm really surprised it took them almost 20 years to come out with some kind of Pokemon fighting game. I just personally always thought that a Pokemon fighting game made sense, but I guess Nintendo and Game Freak didn't agree with that idea. Anyways, like I said, almost 20 years, well, really more like 19, until we got a Pokemon fighting game. When I first heard about Pokken Tournament, I was really interested, but after seeing more of the game, it really didn't seem all that fun. Just another generic fighter with Pokemon. But like I said, I've always thought a Pokemon fighter would be cool, and they made one, so I might as well check it out. And plus, it's Pokemon's 20th anniversary, so I have to review some Pokemon game this year. So, was Pokken worth the wait, or just another generic fighter? Let's rock and find out. Pokken, a combination of Pokemon and Tekken, was first teased on August 2013 during a Pokemon game show event held in Japan. It was officially announced at the event held by Famitsu on August 26, 2014. During the event, it was stated that the collaboration came about from brainstorming ideas of new ways to play Pokemon. The game was first released in Japanese arcades in July 16, 2015, and was first thought to only be an arcade game. However, in 2015, during the Pokemon World Championships, it was announced that the game would be getting a home release on the Wii U, and it eventually released worldwide on the Wii U in March 18, 2016. The game was well received when it first came out in arcades, but many of the arcades wanted to remove the machines from the arcades as they weren't making much of a profit. Apparently, one credit could last an arcade player around 45 minutes, and this resulted in the machines making a low profit. However, the home console version on the Wii U did very well, and it helped increase the sales of the Wii U. In fact, the NPD group reported that Pokken Tournament had outsold Street Fighter V by the end of April 2016, which really surprised me. A Pokemon fighting game outselling a Street Fighter game? Really? I know Pokemon is popular, but it's still surprising. Even though I'm sure this would change in time as Street Fighter has new content coming down the line and Pokken doesn't seem to be getting any new updates in the future. Still, like I said, surprising. Alright, moving on. Time for the plot.
Spoilers!
The story of the game is pretty basic. In the game, you're a new trainer that is entering the Ferrum League. When you start off the game, you meet your advisor, Nia. She shows you around and explains how the league works. Things start off normal at first, and you battle your way through the Green League. However, after you beat Travis, the Green League leader, a mysterious trainer appears and challenges you. In the battle, you face off against Shadow Mewtwo. After the battle is over, it doesn't really matter if you win or lose, Mewtwo and his trainer disappear, and Nia and Travis talk about how there are rumors of a mysterious black Pokemon going around and fighting trainers. After beating the next league's leader, Keep, in the Blue League, the mysterious trainer and her Shadow Mewtwo appear once again. They say that they sense the power coming from the player and his Pokemon, and that is what attracted them there. Before the battle, Nia notices that the stone stuck in Mewtwo's body is sucking up synergy power. After the battle, again it doesn't matter if you win or lose, Mewtwo and his trainer vanish once again. Once you have beaten Ellen, the Red League leader, the mysterious trainer appears and wonders if you can achieve synergy with Mewtwo. After you battle Shadow Mewtwo once again, this time you do have to win the battle, Mewtwo sucks in all the synergy energy from the nearby synergy stones and vanishes. This time, however, the mysterious trainer stays behind and asks you to save Mewtwo for her. After the battle with Shadow Mewtwo, the Fairy League is put on hold, since all the Pokemon have lost the ability to use Synergy Burst. The mysterious trainer identifies herself as Annie, and while explaining Synergy power, she mentions that Shadow's Synergy Stones absorb Synergy power, and that Mewtwo has merged with the Shadow Synergy Stone, and that's the thing that's causing him to go crazy. Next, Annie takes you to the Reggie Ruins, and introduces you to Walter, one of her people. There, Walter tells them that they need to use a brooch that Annie has, which is a fragment of Synergy Stone, in order to save Mewtwo. In the past, the brooch was used to stop the Shadow Synergy Stone. The brooch is however out of power, and they must power it up. In order to do this, they must prove themselves in 4 battles, which will restore the brooch's power. The first battle is against Walter and his Gengar, then Nora and her Gardevoir, and finally against Jake and Lucario. The 4th battle does not take place, as you run out of time. Now, out of time, you go and confront Mewtwo. You battle Mewtwo in a long, fierce battle, unable to defeat him, until Annie manages to give you maximum synergy power, giving you permanent synergy bursts, which allows you to beat Mewtwo. After Mewtwo is defeated, the brooch causes the Shadow Energy Stone inside Mewtwo to shatter, which returns him back to normal. With the Shadow Energy Stone separated from Mewtwo and the brooch shattered, Annie notes that it's because of you that Mewtwo was able to be saved. She then leaves and takes the Shadow Synergy Stone back to her people. With the Synergy energy restored, the Fairy League starts back up, and you can uneventfully become the champion of the Chroma and Iron Leagues at your leisure. The story really ends after your final battle with Mewtwo. Pokken Tournament is of course a fighting game. The game plays like almost every other fighting game, in which 2 fighters battle against each other using various characters, in this case, Pokemon. The game has 16 playable Pokemon, 14 to start with, but later you can unlock Mewtwo and Shadow Mewtwo. The first print Wii U copies of the game were packaged with a Shadow Mewtwo amiibo card, which let you immediately unlock the character. While fighting, the game shifts on how the fighters can move. The field phase is where the Pokemon move freely around the arena, so it makes it easy to run from the opponent. And the duel phase is where you can't move freely around the arena, and you're kind of locked onto the opponent, and you can only move relative to them. The game has relatively standard fighting game controls. You have the strong attack, weak attack, Pokemon move, jump button, block button, and a button to summon your support Pokemon. Also, 2 reset position buttons, one for duel and one for field phase. Also, standard fighting game rules apply. 2 matches where you have to knock down your opponent's life bar all the way down. The game focuses more on action than technical gameplay, which means you will be mostly defending and attacking. However, you are able to perform counters. Players can also perform a special move that either Mega Evolves or powers up your Pokemon for a short period of time. This is done by filling up your synergy gauge, which can be built up from attacks. While in your power-up state, you can also perform a special attack that can do massive damage. You are also able to summon support Pokemon that can give you special benefits, such as buffs in your attack or defense, or they can attack enemies, causing them damage or throwing them off balance. There are 30 support Pokemon in total, and they come in groups of 2, and you can switch between the 2 between matches. The game has the normal standard modes for a fighting game, a story mode of sorts where you progress through the story by defeating opponents, a versus mode where you can play against local players, and online play, where players can compete in 2 types of online battle modes, called friendly battles and ranked battles. In the main campaign, you compete in the Fairy League, which is divided into 5 smaller rank leagues. You start off in the Green League, which is rank D, and the last league is the Iron League, which is rank S. In order to advance in the game, You participate in league matches. You start off at the bottom of each league and work your way up to the top 8. Once you have reached the top 8, you can participate in the league tournaments, where you have to beat 3 trainers in order to become the league champion. Once you become the league champion, you can battle the league leader in a promotion test in order to advance into the next league. As you advance in each league, it gets harder, and you have to battle more trainers. In the first league, Green, you start off at the bottom of 40 trainers, but by the time you reach the Iron League, you're at the bottom of 100 trainers. You also have the ability to customize your character. After every battle, you receive an amount of money. The amount depends on how well you do in the battle. With the money you receive, you can buy new clothes or accessories for your avatar. And sometimes after battles, you can get lucky and get a lucky bonus, which will be a free item for your avatar. After every match, you also gain experience points, which causes you to level up your Pokemon. Once you level up your Pokemon, you get 1 SP point, and you can use that SP point to either upgrade your defense, your attack, or your ability to summon Pokemon, which allows you to compete in harder leagues. Now, when I first started playing Pokken, I really enjoyed it, but by the time I was done with the single player mode / story, I was over the game. The game is fun, don't get me wrong, but the single player campaign is just too long and you have to win over 100 battles just to complete it. Honestly, it took me 165 battles to complete the game from beginning to the end, and if you lose a battle, you have to win several more battles. I won 156 battles and lost 9 battles, and it made it so I had to at least win 25 to 40 more battles because of my losses. In the league matches, you have to face 5 opponents. You have to beat them to advance in the league, and once you are on the top 8, you can participate in the tournament. So you start at the bottom rank, and the more you defeat them, the more you advance. But if you lose a battle, you will only advance a few ranks, or maybe not at all depending on your rank. For example, I was ranked 9 and I beat 4 out of my 5 opponents, but because I lost 1 battle, I did not go up in rank, and I had to fight and beat 5 more trainers just to rank up to 8, so I can battle in the tournament. I just thought it was really dumb. I needed to go up 1 rank, but I had to pretty much fight 5 more trainers because I lost 1 single battle. And I think that's my main problem with this game, the single player campaign. You have to win so many battles to beat the main campaign for no real reason. The battles are not very hard, so you can win most of them with no problem, but at times, I was just destroyed by the computer. Like, in one battle, the AI changed from easy mode to destroy you with no mercy mode. Like I said, matches are mainly easy. Even in the S-rank fights, I would still at times get perfects and not get damaged at all. It's just with only 16 characters, the game gets repetitive, and there isn't much story to keep you engaged. So the game makes you play several fights to make you think that it has a lot of content, which really it doesn't. And I know, it's a fighting game, so it's not going to have a lot of content, but don't add several hundred matches just to stretch out the game and make it seem like it has a ton of content when it doesn't. It's just really bad, and I hate it. Through my entire playthrough of the game, I only used 1 Pokemon. Since you gain levels, I didn't want to switch the 1 Pokemon that had trained to a high level with one that was really weak, and I would have to train up just to compete in harder matches. That's also one thing that I did not like about this game. You only have a choice of 16 Pokemon, and in that 16 you have 2 different versions of Pikachu and Mewtwo. They do play differently, but I can't help but feel like they could have used those spots for some different Pokemon. I also think that they should have made it so you can switch Pokemon during battle, like a tag system in other fighting games. I think it would have added more variety to the battles, as well as making the game seem more like a traditional Pokemon game. I think they also could have improved the story by adding different storylines, maybe based on the type of element in the Pokemon you choose, like a storyline for grass, fire, or water, with different battles and trainers. The story wouldn't even have to be complex, just something to add a little bit more replay value to the game. I will say that the online gameplay was really good. It ran smoothly and I was able to find a match pretty fast, which was good because I got worked in a lot of my online matches that I played, and I wouldn't want to wait around for another fight after I got destroyed. That would just annoy me. Playing against human opponents is where the game really shines, and where you can have the most fun. And that sadly shows how flawed the single player campaign mode is, as you realize how lame the AI are, and it's not very fun fighting them over and over again, as you tend to learn most of their patterns. So, do I recommend this game? Yes, I do. I know I stand on this game a lot, but I think it's fun. I just found the single player campaign long and boring. This game, like most fighters, is meant to be enjoyed with other people, so playing online or with friends make this game worth playing it. I do, however, recommend you wait for a price drop. Currently it's $59 plus tax, and I think that's a bit much for this game, since the single player stuff really isn't worth it. So the pros in the game are that the game is fun, online mode works great, fighting as different Pokemon is fun and cool, all the Pokemon feel unique in the way they fight, and it's easy to pick up and play. The cons are, the single player campaign is long and boring, the game is a bit pricey currently, it's lacking an engaging story, it has a small roster of fighters, and it lacks additional content. And what I mean by that is that there is no DLC currently planned to add new fighters or modes to the game in the near future. Like I said, it's a fun game, but I really feel like it was really meant to stay in the arcade, and the home console release was just an afterthought. Though, I am glad it got a home console release, because it gave me a chance to play the game. Alright, well, that's it for now. Please like, subscribe, and leave a comment like, what Pokemon did you think deserved to be in the game? Or, what's your favorite fighting game? Alright, now with this adventure over, who am I kidding? The Pokemon adventure is never over. So, see you on the next one, and thanks for watching. Hey guys, if you like these videos, check out some of our other videos. Like I have some reaction videos on Pokemon Sun and Moon. And again, thanks for watching.